What is up, everyone? StonePost34 here, bringing you more of Growing Up with Stonepost / Living with Stonepost / my opinion. So, I hope you guys enjoy the video. Quick game of Kill Confirmed. And so anyway, if you hear my cat in the background, she's meowing, and she's kind of mad that I'm not paying attention to her. I'm kind of mad at her, but I'm not going to talk about that. Anyway, so the title of the video is Being Gay? ? And I got this is a story about me growing up and the, just gay people and homosexuals, what we're talking about. And I had several gay family members. And that's kind of the growing up part. And what I want to tell you is, I didn't know they were gay. That's kind of the interesting part. I mean, I think this whole prejudice, scared of it, people are different, causes people to be prejudiced about other people that are different, whether it's skin color or smarter than them or richer than them or poorer than them. They just don't understand these people, and so they start drawing conclusions and have different ideas and may not necessarily be true. So I had two aunts basically that lived together, and they lived outside of Wichita. And I literally was 12 years old, and we were driving back up to Chicago after a long weekend family visit. Those were our vacations. We just went and visited family, which is fine. I love all my family. And we were in the back of the station wagon. That'll date me. My brother and I were. And it was like an 9.5 hour road trip. And my brother goes, Aunt Ike's gay. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? He goes, well, Millie, they're a couple. Aunt Millie, we call her Aunt Ike and Aunt Millie. And I'm like, well, this is my grandmother's sister. I'm like, well, what do you mean? They just live together. He's like, Greg, they're gay. I'm like, dude, you're right. They're gay. But how bad is that? I mean, I'm 12 years old. I know what, homosexuality is. I know all this stuff. Get knifed, son. And, I didn't really put two and two together. It didn't matter. They both gave me big hugs. They both sent me birthday cards. They both, loved me. So it didn't matter. It didn't matter until, well, it never mattered with them. I'm just saying, until people start, putting these preconceived notions of what homosexuals do and all this. And it never mattered. It never mattered at all. In fact, my grandmother's brother, Uncle Hollis, lived in San Francisco, and he was an accomplished organist, and he was also gay. And I kind of knew that. I didn't really think a whole lot about it because it didn't really matter. He'd come back. He never brought his partner back or anything from California. But, that was just part of my family. We would just go to functions, and Aunt Ike and Aunt Millie would be there, and they would hang out. They'd drive together. They'd both bring food, and then they'd go home. And I never really thought anything about it. And even after my brother told me that, I'm like, Chris, doesn't matter. Not that big of a deal. And it didn't matter to him either. So, it kind of changed my perspective, on how to treat people. I'm not just talking about gay people or homosexuals. Just people in general. You learn people need to stand on their own merit and not, whatever someone else says about them. And I always judge people based on their merit and how they treat me. And so if they treat me well, then I don't really judge them. So, one of my, when I was in college, I had a guy that cut my hair. And I knew he was gay. I mean, Randy was his name, and he was super gay. And it was fine. We became really, really good friends. And all my buddies would give me garbage about it. When I moved to Indiana to manage the mall, if you've heard any of my Growing Up with Stone Post, where I met the MILF and all that, Randy had been cutting my hair for about 8 years, and he found out. He was like a little disappointed. He's like, man, I'm sorry you're leaving. I said, well, it's a great job opportunity. He's like, let me take you to dinner. I'm like, cool, whatever. So my buddies gave me so much trouble. They're like, I can't believe you're going with Randy. Randy wore lip gloss, did his nails, all this stuff, and I didn't care. I don't care. I don't care if someone's going to sit in a restaurant and judge me because I'm sitting with a guy that has lip gloss on. I don't really care. And if you don't know me well enough, then you probably don't want to be my friend anyway, because I don't care. So Randy and I went to dinner, and we got all sorts of looks. And my buddy was giving me trouble. And Randy and I hung out outside of him cutting my hair, I'd bring girlfriends over, and he'd have his boyfriend over, and we'd hang out, watch movies, have a few beers. He liked to smoke the weed. I didn't, and so that we did that stuff. I don't think that's too weird. It's just like people say, "Oh my gosh, they're gay and this and that." That doesn't matter. I mean, I do find it offensive if that's all someone's talking about is doing guys or this and that. But I find it equally offensive if you're a frat boy and all you're talking about is all the girls you banged. I don't really care. I mean, sexuality does not define a person, in my opinion. I know there's a lot of my parents would probably disagree with me because of the religious side of it, but for me, what defines you is your actions and how you treat people. And I'm fairly religious, and I don't practice. In fact, had a few comments in my last video. I don't believe God wants you to hate gay people. I don't. I think He wants you to love them just like He loves you. And so that's where I struggle. That's why I was brought up in the church, to love everybody and judge them, not necessarily judge them, but know them by their own merit, not on some preconceived notion. So I don't know. I thought it was kind of a different topic. I don't know. Maybe share some insight into my take on things. But just gayness does not. I don't even know if that's the right term. Homosexuality does not bother me. I have friends today that are homosexual. It does not bother me. That's just part of life. And I think that people are born that way. I don't think that they just sit around and go one day like, "Oh my gosh, I think I like guys." No. It doesn't happen like that. And if you believe that, think about when you figured out if you're a guy, if you like girls. Did it happen like that? That you're like, "Oh my gosh, one day," or vice versa. It's born in you. It's in your genes. And for a matter of fact, I had an aunt and uncle who were both homosexual, gay, and they're blood relatives. So brother and sister. So goes to show you, it's not necessarily a choice. I think it's what you're born with. So guys, I appreciate you watching the Growing Up with Stone Post, a little bit of my opinion. Leave a comment, let me know what you think. If you don't agree with me, that's fine, but that's my take on it. So take care as always. This is Stone Post 34.